All right, so you have a camera, you want to make money. This is how you do it. I'm gonna give you 5 tips, and all of these tips can be applied to any niche, photo and video. Step number 1, figure out what your niche is. Whatever kind of photography you like doing right now should be your niche. You shouldn't go into this thinking, oh, I want to make money, so I'm gonna do something I've never done before, something I don't like, because while maybe you will make money, you're gonna burn yourself out. Trust me, it happens multiple times to everybody. So just avoid it completely, pick something you like doing. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna talk about portrait photography because that's what I started off doing when I was in college. I knew a lot of people that were graduating and I had a big community, and it made sense for me to start off with portraits because everyone knew I did photo and video. Yeah, but all of these tips can be applied for both photo, video, any niche, doesn't matter. I would say the next step is to learn. You're gonna want to watch other YouTubers that do what you do. You're gonna want to find people on Instagram that do what you do. Yeah, there's just so many ways to get better, and I think when you are watching certain people over and over and over, you start to replicate their style a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing when you're starting. You don't want to copy them, but it's a nice jumping off point to finding your own style. So going back to my portrait photography example, you can learn lighting, you can learn how to use the sun to your benefit and learn about reflectors. You can use Pinterest to find different poses. You can use TikTok to see how photographers interact with their models and their subjects. There's a lot of different ways that you can get better, and it's important to have a good understanding of these before you start charging people. Step number 3, find people that want free work. Everyone has to start somewhere. You can't just jump into, hey, pay me. You're gonna wanna take your niche and think, who do I know is involved with it? So senior photos, it was a little easier to find clients because I had friends and they had friends, and after a while, your work kind of just starts spreading like wildfire and other people are gonna start to see it. Finding free work is pretty important when you're first starting out because you need proof that you can do it before you start even thinking about making money. And whoever you reach out to, it's pretty low stakes for them because if they like the photos, great, they like the photos, they got them for free and you get practice. And if they don't like the photos, then they didn't pay anything and you use it as a learning opportunity. So free work isn't always a bad thing. And when you're starting out, it's super important. Step number 4 is gonna be build your portfolio. Once you have a handful of work that you're proud of, next step is gonna be to share it. Go ahead and make an Instagram account and start posting everything that you do, tagging everyone. And this is gonna be the first step to finding clients. This step is important because you need some kind of proof of concept that you have done this for other people before. You can't just go to a client and say, hey, I do photography, hire me. When you send someone this portfolio link, they're gonna see all of the people you worked with in the past. Step number 5 is the most important step, and it's to cold call / cold email or cold DM. And what I mean by that is reaching out to everybody and anybody that you think could possibly want photography. You can email companies, you can DM people. There's a lot of different ways that you can cold call. Just send them a message saying, hey, here's who I am, what I do, here's my work. This is definitely the hardest part about making money with photography, is trying to find people that are willing to pay. This step honestly is basically the same as step number 3. You're just reaching out to everyone that you know, but this time you have a portfolio and now you are gonna charge. It's honestly the most tiring part, but if you can just keep doing it over and over and over, you're eventually gonna find people that are gonna say yeah, and all it takes is one yes. But maybe you're thinking, how do you find this many contacts, right? So this is where you have to get a little bit creative. So let's go back to that senior photo example that I used. So you want to think, okay, senior photos. Senior photos are just photos of people that look nice. And who else wants to look nice? People that are applying for jobs. So you can do LinkedIn profile pictures, you can do couple sessions, engagement photos, you can do newborn, you do family portraits around the holidays. And then all of this will also eventually lead into weddings. When you can start thinking of all of these different branches of your niche, that's when you really start making more money. I'll do another example because senior photos is kind of hard. Let's say you're into sports. More specifically, let's say football, right? Most people are gonna think, okay, work with a team. So yes, there's high schools, middle schools, college, NFL, but reaching out to an entire team might be a little difficult. So you can go on Instagram and start off with individual players. If you are in high school, and you know people that play on the football team, just say, hey, my name is so-and-so, here's some of my past sports work. If you want me to come shoot a game, let me know. These are my prices, right? Again, it really is just a numbers game. The more people you message, the higher chance you have of getting a yes. And it's gonna take a lot of time. I think I did photography for about 3 years before I finally got my first paid gig. So you will get rejected a lot. Even to this day, like I still cold call and cold email 100 different people a week, and maybe we'll get 10 replies, and out of all those replies, I'll maybe get 2 yeses. And again, like I said earlier, all it takes is 1 yes and you're already kind of in the door. I also asked my Instagram if they had any questions about working full-time freelance, and I screenshotted a couple of my favorites. Do I have a favorite gig? Favorite gig right now, I would say, is EDM photography. So like nightclubs, DJs, festivals, just because I'm a social person and I like to be out and about, and it's kind of a free excuse to go party. Well, not free, I actually get paid to go party in a sense. Similar to that, actually opposite of that, do I have any boring shoots? I do have boring shoots. You know, doing this full time, you're not gonna love every single thing that you do, because there are times where I just need the bills paid. So for example, editing, I'm not a big fan of editing, but I will still do it because I can do it from the comfort of my home and it pays well. What is the best editing software? I personally like DaVinci Resolve. I've used DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. I haven't used Final Cut, but from my experience, DaVinci is the best because it's the simplest to use and it doesn't crash like Premiere did, and it's also free. How long until you're a millionaire? Who said I'm not already a millionaire? 2025, I averaged about $4,000 a month, which isn't bad. I'll take it. I don't work, you know, all hours of the day, and I get to travel a lot. So my goal is to start making a little bit more than that, obviously. But I think for where I'm at right now, I think that's pretty solid. I know that there's a lot of things I didn't cover in this video, like pricing, or what exactly the email should say, or deliverables, like how many photos or videos or whatever. And all of that will come in the next video. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments and I can answer them. I'll see you guys in the next video.